So,
you can tell these two.
okay, thank you. Are you not going to do them all?
No, just do one because I can't do the button.
You can't do them. You don't need the buttons.
But I want to do this.
Okay, you wanted the baby one. All right. This one, we're going to have, again, more audience participation. So you're going to help out, aren't you, Henry?
Yeah.
And if you've got more than one person in the audience, you can obviously use more than one person for each character that you've got. What are we going to read?
Tyrannosaurus drip.
Tyrannosaurus Drip. It's a very good story. Well, Daddy was going to hug you, but actually I don't think we'll fit. In a swamp, beside a river, where the land was thick with veg, lived a herd of duck-billed dinosaurs who roamed the water's edge. And they hooted up with rivers, they hooted up with reeds, and they hooted up with bellyfuls of juicy water weeds. Now, across the rushy river, on a hill the other side, lived a mean Tyrannosaurus and his grim and grisly bride. We haven't got the bride, have we? And they shouted, "Up with hunting!" And they shouted, "Up with war!" And they shouted, "Up with bellyfuls of juicy dinosaur!" But the two Tyrannosauruses, so grisly, mean and grim, well, they couldn't catch the duck-billed dinosaurs because they couldn't swim. And they muttered, "Down with water!" And they muttered, "Down with wet!" And they muttered, "What a shame that bridges aren't invented yet." Now, a little compsognathus. We haven't got a comp, have we? We need a comp.
Yeah.
But for short, we'll call her comp. Found a duckbill egg and stole it from a nest beside the swamp. And she ran with it and she swam with it. And she murmured, "Clever me!" And won't the baby comps be thrilled with a duckbill egg for tea? Oh, she dropped the egg in terror and went running for her life from the mean Tyrannosaurus and his grim and grisly wife. The duckbill egg went rolling, and at last it came to rest. And of all the unlikely places, the Tyrannosaurus nest. Now, the mother T had great big jaws and great enormous legs, but her brain was rather little. She couldn't count her eggs. And she sang, "Hatch out, my little terrors, with your scaly little tails, and your spiky little toothies, and your scary little nails." And out hatched babies 1 and 2, as perfect as could be. But Mother T was horrified by baby number 3. Can you hold this one up as well?
I can't really.
You can. You've got 2 hands. And she grumbled, "He looks weedy." And she grumbled, "He looks weak." And she grumbled, "And what long arms, and look, his mouth is like a beak." "He just needs feeding up," said Dad. And he gave the babe some meat. The first 2 gulped and guzzled. Let's have the first one eating. Is it gulping and guzzling? Do it a bit higher so the camera can see. But the third refused to eat. And he said, hold up the Paralophosaurus, "I'm really sorry." And he said, "I simply can't." And he said, "This meat looks terrible. I'd rather eat a plant." "A plant?" yelled Mom in horror. And Dad said, "Get a grip." And his sisters found a name for him. Hold up his sister. Hold his sister up. "Tyrannosaurus Drip." And they shouted, "Up with hunting!" And they shouted, "Up with war!" And they shouted, "Up with bellyfuls of juicy dinosaur!" Now poor Tyrannosaurus Drip, he tried hard to sing along. But the others yelled, "You silly Drip, you got the words all wrong." For he hooted, hold up Tyrannosaurus Drip, "Down with hunting!" And he hooted, "Down with war!" And he hooted, "Down with bellyfuls of duck-billed dinosaur!" Now Drip's sisters, they soon grew big enough to hunt with Dad and Mom. But they turned on Drip and told him, "You're not fierce enough to come." And he cried, "They're they've gone without me. And he cried, alack-a-day. And he cried, this doesn't feel like home. I'm going to run away. So off he ran to the river. Hold him up, running to the river. Is he running?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where he saw a lovely sight. A herd of duck-billed dinosaurs, all hooting with delight. And they hooted up with rivers, they hooted up with reeds, and they hooted up with bellyfuls of juicy water weeds. Tired? Yeah.
I think we can play dinosaurs, I want to.
We can play dinosaurs later, yes.
I want to play others like that.
Yeah, you've got one more to read, haven't we? As he stood there on the bank, a sudden urge took hold of him. He jumped into the water and discovered he could swim. And the duckbills came to greet him by the rushy river's edge. And they hooted, nice to see you. And they hooted, have some veg. And Drip, who was delighted that they hadn't run away, he ate bellyfuls of juicy water weeds and he played with them all day. And then he gazed into the river and he asked them, who, oh who, is that creature in the water? And they laughed and they said, that's you. Now, that night the lightning crackled and a storm blew down a tree and it fell across the river and the teas cried out, yippee! And they shouted, up with hunting! And they shouted, up with war! And they shouted, up with bellyfuls of juicy dinosaur! Now Drip's sisters stepped onto the bridge. They said, where's his sister? There she is. But then began to frown, for there in front of them stood Drip. Where's Tyrannosaurus Drip? Hold him up.
This one?
Yeah. Who said, look out? Look down. They looked into the water, and they each let out a yelp. And one of them cried, water monsters! And the other one cried, help! Now the mother scolded, nonsense! And she joined them on the tree. And then she looked into the river and exclaimed, good gracious me! The three of them stood trembling. And Dad said, get a grip. You're all of you as drippy as Tyranosaurus Drip. And he strolled onto the bridge and scoffed, I bet there's nothing there. And then he looked into the water and he jumped into the air. And how the duckbills hooted when he landed with a crash and the tree bridge broke. And 4 Tyrannosauruses went, what did they do?
Splash!
Splash! And after spluttering and clinging to branches of a tree, they went whooshing down a waterfall and all the way out to sea. The duckbills hooted happily, and they hooted, hip, 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 hooray for the heroic, one and only Duckbill Drip. Yeah.